choose from a list, and there are different ways to choose depending on whether you're a first-year student or a second-year student. So the main kind of content of this presentation is to talk a little bit about that. So basically, for the first-year students, your assignment will be about comparing two projects that you also will analyze. One predates the year 2000, and another one is more recent. And from the pre-2000 list, there's less than one per student. So there's less than the number that you are. But the point is that you're going to choose two, one that's pre-2000 and one that's after 2000. So the idea is that no combination should be the same. So every student has a unique combination of two projects. And on the other hand, because for the list for after 2000, we do have more projects than the amount of students, there should be no overlap from that list as well. So I hope it's not too complicated. We spent some time looking at these projects, so take your time as well to see the ones you're not interested in and think about an interesting combination. On the other hand, for Mul 2, there's a list where you will have the chance to each choose one project with no overlap. So there's at least one project per student, and that too you will analyze in such a way that you can basically and then share your takeaways. The deadline for all of this is the 18th of November. And there will be no scans, no materials put on blocks. There will only be the list because these projects are well-known projects, so there's enough material in also the library, but also online. But make sure that if you have any issues with that, you inform us on time. If you have any trouble locating this material. Now I will quickly show you a little bit the templates we have in mind, and then I will, as usual, send you, we will, as usual, send you also the templates via mail on Box, hoping that gradually Box becomes an easier environment to kind of manage. Actually, I have to keep 2 pages scrolling. Okay, so basically this is the template, and there's a comparable one for the urban projects, where it's again very graphic and very straightforward in the sense that it's not a very long textual evaluation. So you have the kind of first project title with some information about the description of the evaluation. And this is then the example of how you can work it out. So again, you don't have to stick exactly to this level of where the images are positioned and so forth, but this gives you an idea with a project that's been analyzed in the past of how to do something comparable, where as you can see there's a kind of analysis at different scales, first of the site, then of the actual concept, and then there's actual drawings that the student who was analyzing this project actually made on the open space structure, on the circulation, and then something about the typology. That's it. So it's not very long, but it's really to kind of try and look at different scales at these housing environments or these urban projects, and then you do the same for a second project straight after. So it's the same way to analyze project 1 that you use for project 2 if you're a first-year student and you have the combination. For second-year students, you have one more complex project because it's an urban project to analyze. So something more in line with your actual exercise. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you before we open up for questions is in fact the lists of projects. But again, I will share them online, so and also on Box, so it will be easier. But just make sure you're choosing from the right one. On the left-hand side is the housing analysis, urban tissue, and on the others, on the right-hand side is from the urbanism. And so you see that in one case we have the historical pre-2000. So for first-year students, you have to choose one project from that list, and then as we move down the list, we will have a those 2000s, which start here. Contemporary, as we call them. Whereas here, you basically just have a list from which to pick. Are there any questions on this? Anything unclear?
Just to confirm, so the comparison won't be like clearly stated, but we simply like do two exercises.
No, I think in that you should keep last page, but we didn't know how to, we didn't want to kind of fix it too much, because every combination is unique, to maybe try and find 3 to 5 key takeaways that can help you with the comparison. But we leave it a bit up to your kind of critical capacity to understand at which level. It would be nice if it could reflect the interscalar analysis, what you say, so that you're not only comparing like the windows, but you have something like a bit broader. But it could be that you take in other elements. And I would try, well, we would advise you to maybe see in what way also you reflect on these projects in alignment with what you're trying to do with your project. So if your project starts to be about certain themes, you see that it's starting to go in that direction, maybe pick projects and try to analyze them in such a way that it can help you, not as a kind of side activity. Any other questions? No? So I will send you a mail with all of this in attachment, and we will also put it on Box. They are already in fact on Box, and we will share the links, but to be sure that you can get them, I will also just share them as attachments to an email, so that if anyone still has trouble getting the Box, you can get it as an attachment. And then I would advise that you do a bit the exercise in the course of today when you can, to start picking and making lists so that you're sure that you don't overlap with anybody. And Elise was going to work on a sign-up sheet, so that might be the best way, but I think you can start thinking for yourself which 2 projects you would like to analyze, which make sense, and try to then kind of combine, speak a bit and try to kind of claim them. And then for the Model 2 students, I really think you can do a bit like last time you sent an email to Laura with the project that you each have chosen after a bit of internal discussion. If there's a major fight over a project, let us know. And hopefully there's enough interesting ones out there to kind of make your pick.